Marxism. And so that's one very worrisome situation that we have to contend with. It, as you said, time is being wasted. But it's not just that, Tony. When you look at the priorities that the U.S. military leaders, not just the political administration, but the general officers, the civilian equivalents of those officers in the current Department of Defense, their priorities, go back to the, quote, extremism in the ranks stand down, right? I was a unit commander at the time. We were forced to do a stand down and take an entire huge, long period to conduct this training to root out, quote, extremists in the ranks. And you look at the material that we were provided, and that material was void of any mention of at least 6, quote, extremists in the ranks, and those would be jihadis. But I have 6 examples that I can point out where members of the armed forces either did violence against their fellow service members or sought to do so and were imprisoned for it on behalf of the global jihad movement and its doctrine, Sharia. None of those examples were in that material. It was examples that were, somebody put C4 in the shape of a SWAT stick. Okay, that's bad. But is that worthy of a gigantic extremism in the ranks stand down? So it's not just that there are problematic policies like DEI and CRT. It's literally that we are purposefully, the leaders of the current U.S. military are purposely avoiding studying the very things that threaten the Constitution to which they took an oath.
Well, gentlemen, let me ask you this question. Is this intentional to weaken our military?
I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, give me any logical reason that you would see the kinds of things that we're seeing in our military today, and you see the kind of commanders that we're having at the upper levels in there. And this, you've got to go all the way back, at least as far as Barack Obama. If you really want to understand, when he said, I'm going to fundamentally change this country, well, you got to start with the military. The military is a very important part of changing our society. And if you want to do that, you start with the military. And the military, now we're seeing the results of that effort.
So, Colonel, I'm going to ask you about that because, I know having joined the Marine Corps right out of high school and still in touch with many Marines, and there's nothing about the Army here. I just haven't served the Army. But the reality is, men and women serve because they want to serve for something greater than themselves. They want to commit themselves to something that's bigger. The rank and file, are the troops going along with this?
So, Tony, thankfully, at the bottom levels, what I've seen is a lot of common sense and reason, right? So you may have general officers that will refuse to acknowledge the doctrines of our enemies have anything to do with why they fight. But at the ground level, there is a thirst for that kind of truth. There's still a hunger for it. And so that's encouraging. The problem is that there's going to be immense suffering in those ranks when we deploy our military against adversaries that we don't understand. Look no further than the way that we left Afghanistan. What an absolute travesty in the way that we did that. You saw no one held accountable, and you saw no one willing to resign and say, look, this is not a smart way to do it. I'm not your guy. You didn't see any of that.
So, General, let's go to the officer ranks. Is it conformity for promotion?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of careerism associated with today's senior leaders. And we've had periods in the military where that was the case, but I think that we clearly have that today, and it has been a matter of if you want to get ahead, you gotta play the game. You gotta play it by the rules that are established for you.
So how do we purge that type of thinking, which is clearly anathema to national defense and security?
Number one, we as a nation need to get a commander-in-chief that understands the military, cares about the military, and is willing to place a priority on the readiness of our military. Number two, you got to get officers in there that are warfighters, that want to be warfighters, that want to prepare their people for war. Because we are doing them a big disservice when we waste our time doing this critical race theory stuff. It does nothing but demoralize and divide these people. So we going to use on the battlefield.
Colonel, you agree with that assessment?
I do, and I would also add something I know that's near and dear to General Boykin's heart, which is we have to restore the soul of our military. That's what's been degraded. I mean, you think about Matthew 10:28, right? Don't fear, do not fear those that can kill just the body and not the soul, but fear those that can kill the body and the soul in hell. The soul of the military is what's under attack. We need to be anchored to the foundation of truth and reason. The Constitution, this copy of the Constitution I have here was given to me by the parents of a Marine, their only child, who died under my command in Iraq. And they said, never forget what he died for. And I won't. And what's happened is the senior ranks of our military have become unanchored from truth, reason, from the Constitution. And Tony, I'll tell you, there was a book just launched this month. It's written by an active duty Navy commander, and it's called Defending the Constitution Behind Enemy Lines. And he makes the very well-articulated argument that, in fact, those that have violated the law to enforce that vaccine mandate are one of the greatest threats to the U.S. Constitution, a domestic enemy to it. And I think that's the truth. And so in order to reverse that, we've got to restore the soul of our military.
I could not agree more. And we hear this from the president, the commander-in-chief, that we're in a battle for the soul of our nation. I know a lot of times I don't think he realizes what he's saying. In this case, I think he is actually speaking truth. There is a battle for the soul of our nation. And I think these woke policies are what is constantly, steadily attacking the soul of our military. When I talk about soul, the element that there is transcendent truth and we can be anchored to it, and that there is something bigger than what we determine ourselves. And these policies are chipping away at that very foundation.
There's no question about it. I think you may have said it earlier on this program here, but people need something to fight for. They have to have a cause. They have to have a transcendent cause that gives them a motivation to put on a uniform and to go into battle and protect their fellow soldiers or Marines or whatever it may be. And what we're doing, everything we're doing, is just destroying the morale and the sense of being, sense of purpose for those young men and women that are serving today.
Hollowing out our military. I want to play one more clip before we run out of time. This is the House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries last Friday after the NDAA passed the House. Clip number 11.
One of the amendments deals with the DoD subsidizing transgender care. Why do you think that needs to be something the DoD subsidizes? What's your justification for that versus it being something that's an elective surgery?
We have to take a step back and look at the totality of the United States military and its readiness. And I believe the Department of Defense has made the appropriate decision in its totality that every single segment of society should be welcomed.
Well, I think his vocabulary word for the week was totality. And in that word salad, what he dished up was really not much. But I want to address this issue because this is something that they're attacking from the Republican version of the NDAA. There is not a constitutional right to serve in our nation's military.
There is no constitutional right to serve. It is a privilege for you to be able to serve. There is nothing in our Constitution or in our laws that says everybody has that right. And going back again to the Obama administration, you started hearing that was a part of their theme.
Right.
Was everyone should have the right, and to include the people that have a different sexual identity or whatever it may be. And for him to use that in connection with the military and those young men and women that voluntarily go out there and serve and put their lives on the line is not,
as we talked about, they get waivers, they get special treatment. Colonel, did you have any experience with that in the Marine Corps as you were serving in your last couple of years?
Well, I just want to address what we just saw was just the height of hypocrisy. If you really truly wanted, everyone to have an opportunity to serve, you wouldn't persecute those with strongly held religious beliefs and then kick them out of the military, which is exactly what happened with that vaccine mandate we just spoke about. Tony, one of the things that worries me the most is that as I sit back and I reflect on what happened, the first part of that mandate was a data harvesting operation. If you recall, all throughout government, it was, hey, there's going to be a process. Just tell us what your strongly held religious beliefs are.
Yeah.
And we did that, right? And they documented that. And then secondly, it was, I think, a very well executed purge. They created the conditions. Lloyd Austin, when he gave that order, it was lawful. It was inoculate the force with an FDA approved vaccine, and one didn't exist. That was a litmus test for the officer corps. And so, depending on how you look at it, I think we catastrophically failed.
Yeah, extremely good point, Colonel. Colonel Tommy Waller, I want to thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you being a part of the program.
Thank you for having me, sir.
And General, always great. Always good to have you as well. I always feel safer when you're around, for some reason. All right, we're out of time. Folks, thank you for joining us. Text WOKE to 67742. Let your voice be heard. Until next time, I leave you once again with the encouraging words of the Apostle Paul found in Ephesians 6, where he says, when you've done everything you can do, when you've prayed, when you've prepared, and when you've taken your stand, by all means, keep standing.
Washington Watch with Tony Perkins is brought to you by Family Research Council and is entirely listener-supported. Portions of the show discussing candidates are brought to you by Family Research Council Action. For more information on anything you've heard today, or to find out how you can partner with us in our ongoing efforts to promote faith, family, and freedom, visit TonyPerkins.com. Also, to leave a comment about Washington Watch, call our watch line at 1-866-372-7234. That's 1-866-372-7234.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
90.5 KTXG Greenville, Dallas.
And a child is truly a gift from God. Even inside the womb, the baby is living with a heartbeat that grows stronger every day. But abortion stops that beating heart. Protecting the life of the unborn is more than just a noble cause. It's our duty and our privilege. Thank you for continuing to fight for the sanctity of life, and stay encouraged. It's a winning fight. A reminder from AFA. This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News. I'm Robert Thornton. Donald Trump's rivals for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination are weighing in on today's news of Trump being a target of a probe into the January 6th Capitol unrest and efforts to overturn the 2020 election. A government source with direct knowledge of the situation told Fox News that the special counsel's office sent Trump a target letter and the former president confirmed it. In a video shared first with Fox News, Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy gave his thoughts.
This is different from any of the other prior indictments against Trump, and people are missing the importance of this indictment in particular. Not only is this a federal indictment like the last one in the documents case,